Hello, sports fan. This is Stephen Hill for Sports Choice Plus. I'm bringing you a very special breakdown. I'm going to be covering the San Antonio Spurs plan moving forward. Before I get right into that, I want to make sure you're subscribed to the YouTube channel so you get all the updates and all the breakdowns. Without further ado, let's get right into it. Looking at the San Antonio Spurs and looking just overall at the transition of where we're at this very moment, Greg Popovic is no longer the head coach, and you got to think about this. He's transitioning to basketball operations full-time, and you got to think about this from Mitch Johnson taking a step into the head coaching role after coaching for the most part of last season. The San Antonio Spurs were able to go 34-48. That is essentially pretty decent for what they have as a team. They were all starstruck at Victor Wembanyama, and when you think about how well he's playing in his second year, the blood clot situation came shortly from NBA All-Star Game. They made a lot of announcements, and he sat out the remainder of the second half of the season. Having Victor Wembanyama, De'Aaron Fox, Devin Vessel, and Stephon Castle, you have a strong core. And assuming that everything's better with him moving forward from the blood clot, you have four talented players, and you have pieces that you could put around them to surround them with to make them a better core. First things first, this offseason, if they're able to, if they can get an extension to De'Aaron Fox, that's what they need to do, to where they'll have this core locked up for the next couple of years. The Spurs also, after trading for De'Aaron Fox, they still have draft capital left over. So they have the number 2 overall pick from this year of their own, and they have the number 14 pick via the Atlanta Hawks and number 38 pick overall from this year's draft. They have an opportunity to get a generational talent out of this draft. I know it's not going to be Cooper Flagg, but essentially you've got a lot of good young men that's in this draft that could potentially either help you or take that next step to catapult you to a playoff team, or you could trade that pick for a veteran that you know is going to give you an instant kickstart to something, whether it be offense or defense. I think their biggest need this offseason is veteran leadership. They're going to need to get a veteran in there. I know they're losing Chris Paul. I don't know if he's going to be able to come back because of his request as far as his salary wants. I don't know if they're going to spend that kind of money for that, but I think that having a second rim protector, having Victor Wembanyama not be the only guy that plays center or power forward, to be able to take some of that load off of him, where a defensive guy is going to come back there and be able to help him either alter shots, block shots, swat shots, do whatever it is. But when Victor's in the game, they're defensively that much more better. When he leaves the game, they're almost 10 to 20 points worse as far as plus minus in those periods of time where he's out the game. I think the influence of having a Greg Popovich around is going to be something for this team, because he's still going to hold them to a high standard. Even though he's not coaching day to day, there's going to be an expectation that you play like a San Antonio Spur. And that's what Greg Popovich did for more than 20 plus years in his seat at the head coaching position. I think that with what the Spurs have, they're one of the young nucleuses that isn't strapped down financially by salary cap. So the next 2 to 3 years, you're going to have flexibility, you're going to have draft picks, and you're also going to have free agents potentially looking at San Antonio. I know it's not sexy like Miami. I know it's not like cute like Chicago, or it's not a New York City where you can toast to the town, but San Antonio has a very, very nice salary. They have good free agents that potentially could sign there. They got guys that they could re-sign that would love to re-sign there. And when you think about it, having players like a Harrison Barnes, having players like Chris Paul, having those nucleus guys on the roster help this team that much more and develop in a good way. I think the Spurs are a season off from possibly making a big playoff run and having a healthy Victor Wembanyama for a season. And potentially he should have been the defensive player of the year, but he didn't play enough games. But they have a lot of talent in San Antonio, let's be clear. And I think that with the number 2 overall pick, we'll see the direction that they take, because they could go for a big, they could go for a guard, they can go for a small forward, or they can go for a power forward. It's a lot of different talent in this current draft where you don't have a bad choice as your second pick. So all you Spurs fans, get in the comment section below. What do you think they should do this next upcoming season and the off season? Definitely check out Sports Choice Plus, and we'll see you on the very next episode.